¿Qué rollo, mi raza? Antes de empezar con lo que es la partida de Estados Unidos contra México, muy buenas felicitaciones al equipo de México. La neta se la rifaron. No nos dejamos de ningunos trolls cualquiera. Supieron jugar. En especial lo que es Castled y Ángel Volado. La verdad que mis respetos. La verdad que tuvieron una muy buena participación. De mi parte nada, tienen el apoyo de toda la comunidad mexicana y latina. Hay que seguir rifándole, ¿no? Sobres.
Because the last time Mexico actually played on this map, it was just Ramacho. They tried to run a little bit of Winston, but oh my god, Superzen!
It's Super Matthew Delisi is in the lobby, boys. Oh my god.
He's off the bench, he's in.
Contra Super.
I mean,
Está bien, ya tiene rato que no está en la liga.
And USA loses this map, but I mean,
ahorita el Castle le va a dar en su madre, güey. Vámonos.
Testing a couple of experimental compositions.
Okay, Super on the ball. Yeah, that's definitely experimental. Down towards that pillar side, he goes just to spam out the back line as Mexico rotates towards the front, but he's already dead. The Hydron on that Farah. Good work from him.
Sí, va a ser un problema.
Already for Team USA, and that's a quick 5K. Very fast for
Ya empezó, güey. Pensé que estaban calentando, güey. ¿Qué onda, güey? ¿Qué onda? Sí, Hydron está muy fuerte el güey. Pero buen cambio a Diva.
Either kited by his fire, just harassing on that tracer, or knocked with super, or just Hydron's concussives. Mexico is going to have such a hard time trying to maintain all of their players' coordinations and positions to make sure no one gets swept into the waiting tide. USA has to overwhelm this comp.
The Hydron will do great work from the high ground, especially because Mexico doesn't have any of those hit scans that deal with them, though that backline was hacked. The Ultraviolet, the peel is there immediately from Rupel and the rest of Team USA, though Momo eventually will track down Ultraviolet with the Zuck and the aggressive orb as well, but Hydron and Aspire combined together for two, but Sofa is ready to go. In a dojo side, Aspire, though, still is there with Super.
Buena batalla, güey, pero...
Who was in that fight.
Yeah, good gatekeeping of that health pack to make sure that Hydron does not manage to refresh his health without that pocket coming through from Rupel, but unfortunately, Aspire is still very much alive and capable of taking.
Y yo digo que se vaya Echo, güey. Echo Mercy.
For Mexico to be able to approach bridge entirely closed off. If you want to try to pay the toll, it's gonna be blood with all of the knocks and environmental potential that USA has.
Mexico walking in.
Sí se puede, güey.
Has to touch that point, but loses a chunk of his HP. As it looks for heals from Momo. Aspire just being a nuisance on that right flank as well. Spamming it out, but Choblock's building up towards the EMP, ready to go. Aggressive, actually catches out Aspire. That might just be enough to give him that kill. Super did use the Wrecking Ball ultimate on the point as well to get the mines there to sustain. He also gets the nano.
Se los va a ensartar. Qué buena.
Then Hydra comes in with the barrage as Super takes down Castle. The slam comes through, and Hydron's there in the white room to track though. Momo does trade it back with the nade, but
se habían ocultado bien, pero ya no traíamos tanque, güey.
Group with 93% they'll have, and help a lot of to potentially touch, but he's already back at the side of the point because Aspire has pressured him away. Castle comes through with the touch. The touch actually came through from Troblux, who actually kills Rupel in the sky with the hack. Great work from him. Angel Delgado as also gets the nano boost and is dueling Aspire, forces that recall back. Momo also gets that pick on the Hydron in the sky, so that's two for Mexico as they've regrouped towards that point. They have the main advantage. USA doesn't have a lot of ultimates. They commit the pulse bomb to get Castled out of neck, but he has that Diva Bomb to sustain. Aspire avoiding the hack with the blink as well. Just a great job at peeling on this point, really sustaining USA in this fight as now they've regrouped as 5. Aspire tries to go for the dive with Super, but Super gets chunked down incredibly low, but has that double pocket from Rupel on the side. He still has his team as Mexico's trying to regroup on the point, have to commit the beat drop just
buena.
And they eventually do. Super is still here in this fight, and so is Team USA, but surely they'll have to back up.
They're going to have to back up, and they've got the hammer mines, true, but Troblux is going to have the sombra mines, immediately uses the EMP to be able to clear them, so it doesn't manage to pick up any kills. Unfortunately, it created the distraction focal point so that Hydron's able to take the Ana down in the backline entirely uncontested, and now without that support, Mexico just do not have the sustainability to stand up to the burst potential that Echo has.
Oh, this is just ego challenge at this point. Looks like USA just want to keep running towards that point. Found Castle, commit the nano and Angel Volado as well. So even though USA were quote unquote losing a lot of these fights, they want to continue the pressure onto Mexico. Really make sure they make a statement win today. And it looks like they're doing so. Dropping the pulse bomb to zone out the Lucio player of Sofa. Aspire also used that recall. Has to back up, a lot of pressure being on USA's supports at the moment because of how aggressive Team USA
Bola está bajísima, güey.
Incredibly low, but has the pocket from the Brigitte and the Ana, but Mexico's still strong. They still have a healthy team at the moment. Hydra, though, does go for the copy on the Ana, and Aspire finishes off Castle on the backside. Choblux does get Hydra on the backside, so that's one to give them the advantage, but Mexico cannot even touch because USA is just going constantly.
Va a estar duro, güey. Va a estar duro, güey.
Resulting in them winning round number 1.
The problem in that overtime fight was Hydron. Hydron occupies the entire backline for Mexico. Both Momo and Sopa are trying to deal and peel for each other when that Echo drops in to say hello, and that just leaves Castle, who came back on that Winston to be able to just stall the point for as long as possible for the team, vulnerable and incredibly easy to be able to take down. Mexico put up a pretty good fight, though. After just how fast that first fight went down, USA did have to swap off some of those experimental heroes to come through. As now we're going to head towards Control Center.
Hey, Reinhardt.
Why you have Super in
Ramatra.
the Reinhardt is out on the field. That
Super es conocido por su Reinhardt. Es bueno.
Genji as well. I'd like to see Hydra be this really flexible player that he's become. Be able to play that Genji. You know, hit scan, pretty much can play everything at this point. Farah has a lot of those heroes in this hero pool. Mexico does drop down on USA, who are in that white room with the Ramatra, and they find Super already incredibly aggressive by Mexico rotation.
Buena.
Hydra goes incredibly low, and Angel
Todo Ángel.
him to give that 2K to Mexico, and the point goes in their favor first.
Gorgeous Wall coming through from Trovolux actually manages to separate Super from his backline.
Sí, güey, tenía que cambiar Genji porque el Reaper está haciendo bastante daño.
Now Mexico, with control of these chokes, can try to work towards getting this Reaper close enough to be able to really use those shotguns to chunk this Rein's health down, but there's just so much sustainability for USA at the moment.
Yeah, they really want to focus down Super, but it's pulled bomb by Aspire, who forced the fade early, and now the rest of Mexico collapses.
Aspire, güey.
Of Team USA. Fantastic recontested pulse bomb from him to flip it back in their favor.
Hydron on that Cassidy is going to make this Reaper's life an absolute nightmare to try to find these
sí. Les están dando pelea, pero se nota la coordinación de Estados Unidos, pero igual todo puede pasar, ¿no? Están moviendo bien.
Maybe let his supports build up, but it's just a shatter from Super on the front line. Shuts down any push from Mexico.
Ya desperdiciamos el... Sí, güey, la de Moira, güey.
Knowing this is a lost team fight.
They're going to be walking straight into a Deadeye, however. So all of that space that Castle is going to try to take with Annihilation is going to be shut down, but they don't even wait for Annihilation. So aggressive. Move forward.
Qué buena, güey. Qué buena de Hydron. Por eso está en la liga el cabrón.
For them. You're going back to the spawn doors at this point, guys. 50% of the board for Team USA. They got a beat drop as well. And look, Moxie, they want to do another aggressive play. USA really going for the flank.
Oh, no.
Hydron over the left side. Has Aspire with him. They wait for that back side, knowing there's a beat drop available. Tosses the nade on the distance after that change, but can roll back. A little bit of mobility back towards the rest of his team, and they fall back all the way, but they leave Super a bit extended into that blizzard. Makes it back to the point to get the beat drop. It's perfect timing from him. Aspire goes incredibly low, but does save his life on Angel Volado, building that death blossom.
Qué buena disciplina para salirse de... para poder retirarse un poco.
Aspire has found Sopa, though. That's a great pick for USA in this fight. Also, Hydra combining on the Momo. This is the fight Mexico has to win right here and now, but with 90% of the board, they're just looking to get a recontest, and it's going to be dicey versus
Lo va a hacer de nuevo.
That's running to the spawn door. No Maywall to stop it. Just the ice block. 96% desperation, death blossom, and what a dominant win for Team USA over Mexico.
Qué buen juego, güey, de Estados Unidos, güey. No se andan con mamarrocadas, güey.
Really? Super Master Lucio on the Genji now too? Okay. All right. I mean, he's done it before in the Overwatch League, and people will, you know, say he's a great Genji player, but
El super, güey. Cambia DPS, Genji, güey.
Well, they're going to have a little bit of a hard time considering Treblex on that Echo is not going to have hits can try and shut them down. Good anti landing onto Hydra immediately. That is the respect that Mexico are trying to demand from USA's composition at the moment.
How did I notice Hydra was on Winston? The super Genji took over. Aspire, by the way, has found on have a lot of trouble.
Puede que en esta México tenga chance, nada más porque están troleando, güey. De que cambiaron el... Hicieron cambio de roles, DPS se fue tanque y viceversa. No mames, el super anda dando feeding, güey. Ay, drone, güey. Pues están agarrando curas, están divirtiéndose. Es como que de liga así muy en serio.
Yeah, the problem is that Genji always works best in Winston compositions when you're able to dash through those low health targets, and Mexico's composition is incredibly mobile. They're trying to go for Momo, but immediately we just see that swap through in the breaks.
Les va a costar, les va a costar. Spire, güey.
These players back, but that Echo going down opens up a lot of space for USA's DPS to work with.
I just can't believe that. Okay, now they set it Hydra with the nano boost. This is just the Aspire show, right? The rest of the
Les van a dar un tick. No mames.
got 2 ticks now.
Punto, güey.
Castle with the nano boost trying to create space, but the pulse bomb connects, and the Brigitte is removed. See you later, Paulette. Back to the spawn door you go. Aspire down to 6 HP.
¿Ves a lo que me refiero?
Castle on the point is trying to find.
Hicieron el cambio de super, se fue a DPS, anda valiendo madre. Hydron también. Pero el güey que está cargando la partida es Aspire. Su calidad individual es muy buena, güey.
And USA will continue on to the streets phase.
No one touches. And I mean,
actually, no, we cannot. We can. There's no way we could like actually analyze what's USA is hard trolling.
Sí, güey, están troleando los malditos.
It's just hard carrying them at the moment, and they're just out skilling them. This is just a skill differential moment.
I mean, we're gonna
correcto.
Super's POV. I would expect when he goes for this plate, he doesn't have the nano boost. So what I'm hoping is going to happen is that he dashes in, and then Paulette's gonna pop that rally. And we're going to see Ultra White Brigitte come into play against Ultra Violet
Super Genji. Please stay on Super POV. Let's see if the play works out.
It's not Paulette. The break's gone. Here comes Blade Fish.
Ya mataron a Spire. Puede que tengamos oportunidad.
For now, he's still waiting for the rest of his team. Mexico rotates towards that card, dashes away, playing his life very intelligently. Also has that pocket from Ultraviolet with the damage boost. He's ready to go whenever. Notices Momo's at the back. Still has that sleep cooldown. Maybe they wanted to bait that out with the primal rage from Hydra. And there's that sleep dart already used. That opportunity for USA is there to use Super Matthew Delisi's Genji Blade, but they don't even need to because Aspire is there on the low ground to find Chobolux. Incoming nano boosted Winston is slept by Rupel on the low ground. Still trying to find him though because of the cooldowns reduced from that sleep dart. It's just Super in this fight. He's lost both Aspire and Rupel. Goes to the back line, tries to find him. The Brigitte's there. He's down the
Pues sobre la Ana. Super troll, güey.
But it's dodging, bobbing and weaving, and eventually is found. So at the end of the day, USA get the resurrect onto Hydra as well. There's only 3 meters left to go. The primal rage from Castle though should push off USA in this fight. They commit the nano boost on Hydra. No, so USA just throwing in ultimate after ultimate. They really just want to continue this pressure on Mexico. Make sure they feel a lot of that pressure from them. The Death Blossom from Chobolux hits absolutely nobody. Has to fade back towards that card as well as Fire still hands that pulse.
Se la va a ensartar ahorita, güey.
Rupel on the back line as well. Great job from him to keep Mexico in this. Maybe staving off USA for now.
Yeah, gorgeous bubble from Hydron. Blocks so much damage from that Death Blossom, nullifying it entirely as a Aspire. Sits on the pulse bomb, the only ultimate Team USA have to work with for now. And Helpalado also
ya sé, güey.
But Mexico just not getting it in to be able to get the Tracer to use it.
Pero así como está papeando, se los van a papear, güey, los de Corea, güey.
To save him when it detonates, and Mexico should be able to push back USA.
Yeah, slowly but surely they're doing it, USA. Walk in now, have that pulse bomb ready to go Hydron as well. Sitting with that primal rage in just a moment at 92%. Aspire trying to take a bit of that flank space as well. Mexico still playing at the back, ready to dive, but that nano boost. Castle goes in, has the nano, does not get slept this time, and in fact he kills Ultraviolet, who's popping the Valkyrie. That's exactly what you want to see as Mexico Trouble Dodos go down to Aspire. A super is found in hell. Missed pulse bomb from Aspire should give them some opening here, but Hydra with the primal rage. Let's see his Winston mechanics and see.
Digo que hay que focusear al Tracer de Estados Unidos siempre, pero para asegurar la victoria. Nada más que el güey es muy bueno, entonces va a huir siempre, ¿no?
Mexico on the low ground has built Castle's primal rage again. Castle has been really impactful for Mexico. They go in, all ready for that dive.
Y lo despertaron.
Anti-grenaded by Momo. Castle and Momo combined to take off Hydra early. And now, USA, 53 seconds left. Do they want to commit in the ultimates? They have to wait for another member of the team to get back.
Hydra's coming back in on the Junker Queen to be able to collapse in a little bit faster. Queen to be able to collapse in a little bit faster. Super still sitting on this point, gets so low. Has to use that dash to get back to the rest of his team. Can't use it to be able to come in, and that allows Paralat to be able to build this rally. Was ineffective.
Ya duran un buen rato ahí defendiendo,
Super needs to take that break low before he gets the blade.
You know what they've built? They've also built the nano. Nano blade.
Están esperando el nano, güey.
Touch that cart. Use the shout to sustain.
Ya lo va a hacer el cabrón.
There it is from Rufel. Super dash there, gets the nail, dashes onto the Brigitte. That potentially gets in even through the rally. Ready to go into Momo, who eventually had to sleep. Hits him with a nade, but he gets the 2K. Castle, meanwhile, on the backside has already found 3K, and then comes back for Super. The dive from Mexico is far stronger than for Mexico, or for USA, and Hydra's just the last alive. Uses the shout, can sustain, just in the 1 versus 2. Uses the axe, but cannot...
Estados Unidos puede ganar si quiere, güey. Por andar de troleados, güey.
My God, Moxie, what the hell are USA doing?
Sí.
Okay, let's be honest here, Dustin. This right now, this matchup, it's not a fight for qualification. This is a fight, a demand for respect. Mexico, if they lose to Team USA when they're off-rolling, I can only imagine what's going to be said from Team USA on social media. They need to win this map. They need to be able to prove that Team USA are not just the strongest team in this group.
Andan troleando los idiotas, güey.
Yeah, if they lose this, I mean, it's
Pero la podían ganar, nada más que empezaron a trolear demasiado, güey.
For them to lose this, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Box.
So dark.
Well, no, that's a holiday, right? It's anyway.
It's a celebration.
Sí, güey, el Super, es el Super, ya ves, exjugador de la liga, ex campeón de la liga, ex campeón mundial. El güey es tanque. Y hubo un tiempo donde su equipo en la liga no tenía DPS y el mamón se cambió a rol de DPS y jugaba Genji. O sea, no juega tan mal, pero lo tomaban como meme. Y el maldito se atrevió ahorita, empezó con tanque y se hicieron el cambio a DPS el güey con Genji. Andaban troleando, casi la ganaban, nomás que los detuvimos en el segundo punto, güey.
Here we go, Super onto a different Shimada. This is Hanzo better than his Genji.
We'll see. We'll see. This is like a situation where a plat player would be like, you know, sitting on his computer. No, personally, I wouldn't take that. Nice anti-grenade on Ultraviolet. And Super removes those two immediately. So the answer to your question is...
Este round es nomás troleada, güey.
Within the first few seconds, Mexico rotating towards that point will then be against USA. Aspire goes incredibly low, is picked off by Angel Velato as well, forcing Hydra all the way back, and Mexico with a pretty clean .8.
Yeah, that entire dive was literally just thousands of Mexican voices shouting, demanding respect from Team USA as Angel Velato does go down early into this next fight, allowing Super full control of corner to be able to spam these arrows straight in to a regrouping Mexico who have to wait. As Trobolux, now so close to duplication, just doesn't have the room to be able to freely disguise his position and look for the drop.
Mega troleado, güey.
Super spamming out the back line. Castle on the cart. Ready to go for that dive from Mexico with the poke now. Trobolux needs those healing, or needs a bit of healing from his Brigitte. Ready to go with that nano boost dive as well.
¿Qué rayos está haciendo el Super, güey, con un pinche hanzo, güey? ¿Se la va a chingar con el dragón o qué?
Nice sleep as well, right as the arrow hits, so he doesn't get woken up as well. Now comes from that left side flank. Gets castled as well with a not fully charged shot. Copy came through from Trobolux to try to give Mexico the advantage, but they've already found
el maldito.
Mid-air shot onto the Echo. I mean, we're going to see a highlight reel of Super Moxie, but I'm telling you, this is going to be the most whelming highlight reel I'll ever see.
This is where Echo really pulls off significantly. This is what we're talking about, right? The team and composition that you start off Nambani with is not going to be the composition you finish it with, because Echo just so vulnerable in that skybox, hardly any room and building to be able to play and disguise your position around. It's going to swap off the Echo onto that Sombra, but I mean, Super's gonna have the Sonics. He's gonna be able to figure out where the Sombra flanks in from. It's all about the dive coordination now from Mexico.
He's been in the same spot the whole game. He's just sitting above the bunch.
Nomás está arriba del pinche camión, güey.
Watching like that guy sweating on the computer, like, and then the other guy's just like, just dancing around, doing whatever he wants. Drops the Dragon Strike down below, looking for that backline. Mexico is around the bus.
Este es el güey que está carreando Estados Unidos, güey. Spire.
Who's looking for that duel on Angel. The right side, but he's focused by the entirety of Mexico on the front line, who is still healthy. Hands that rally to go. He dropped the pulse bomb as well. Unfortunately, does not kill anybody because the nano boost onto Super to sustain him. He kills Castle with the Sonic Arrow, so Castle's no longer here, who had the Primal Rage too. Surely will force Mexico to reset temporarily.
Super's literally just getting the 5-star treatment at the moment.
Super en hanzo, güey, no mames.
From Team USA to keep him topped up and healthy, so that, like you said, he can literally just hold this angle on bus and continue to apply all of this pressure onto Mexico as they walk around that corner. Nano boost now onto Castle.
Bien.
Force them off of it. No nano boost this time. The hack onto RuPaul to make sure they're not able to need him.
Sí alcanzó.
Now we see the dive to come through. Mexico finally able to break around that first corner.
Pero le están haciendo focus, machín.
Nice Primal Rage from him, who got sticky afterwards, getting that off.
Uy, qué bueno.
Comes through with that dive from Mexico. The bolt, the Diva Bomb is there, but the bubble is too strong. They could not break it in time. Perfect bubble from Castle, and the rally was there. The counter, the Diva Bomb, is just super. Matthew to
No traen nada de ultis, Estados Unidos. Eso les pasa por trolls, güey.
Mexico is taking a map 1-1.
Por trolls, güey. Los cabrones quieren alargar el juego, güey, para cuestión de marketing, para tener más tiempo de pantalla, güey, hacer más promoción, utilizarlo a favor como para sus streams, güey, jalar más gente, güey.
Unfortunately doesn't have the ability to be able to heal the Winston mid-air like the Ana, but the Moira in comparison to the Ana has a lot more survivability on her own.
Spire, we're going the Tracer has been that star player for USA so far. Hydra breaks the translocator of Turbulence. Meanwhile, he has to back out of there as well because he takes that pressure from Angel Volato. Cart really not controlled by anybody but Castle.
USA understands as well.
Y el Spire.
That hack combination alongside the
Hay que matarlo bien. Estamos iguales. A huevo, güey. A huevo, güey. El ángel, güey, se está rifando, güey.
Looking for RuPaul in the back line. He's doing a great job zoning it out to make sure he gets away from Angel. Angel patiently waited. Super was hacked. Now drops the wrecking ball mines in the car, but he's killed in the air.
Le dieron su madre al Super, güey. Bien.
But Momo is hacked during it, like you mentioned, Moxie, but they're still healthy, so it's not that big of a deal for now. Mexico are up.
Tiene que agarrar ritmo, que no lo pierdan. La Moira es el blanco de estos canijos.
Buddy's peeled out by Angel Volato. Perfect timing into the EMP though.
Qué buen EMP, güey.
Amazing setup from him. That was a 3-man EMP onto Mexico. Castle goes incredibly low, and USA have control of the robot again.
Silver lining, Sopa doesn't have to wait for USA to make that first move and commit the EMP before they're going to be able to use that sound barrier, and as a result, Mexico in this next fight can use it, play aggressively off of the opportunity that their Sombra can slide into their path. Just has to be careful. However, as RuPaul is going to need to be hit by the Sombra ultimate so close to Transcendence, which can just keep USA safe through.
Ready to go with the EMP, but like you said, that Transcendence from RuPaul is going to be deadly. Next sort of deal with the beat drop engage from Mexico. Sopa uses it. A nice hack, actually. EMP connects onto his Spire in the window.
No ha caído nadie, no ha caído nadie.
Any direct value in terms of kills. Trouble, let's go. Hands that healing orb to move forward. Also, Nano Boost and Primal Rage committed from Castle, while Nano Boost was used onto RuPaul to save him from that dive. Meanwhile, now has to use that Transcendence as Castle commits the Primal Rage. Mexico goes incredibly low during this fight. We'll see if they can sustain, but Ultraviolet DPSing in RuPaul as well. We talked about this back line. and they do it again. 2K for Ultra and 1 for Rupal.
Oh, the backline, like you said, it's perfect. Ultraviolet nanos Rupal, who doesn't actually have to use Transcendence.
Transcendence's castle commits the primal rage. Mexico goes incredibly low during this fight. We'll see if they can sustain. But Ultraviolet DPSing and Rupal as well. We talked about this back line, and they do it again. 2K for Ultra and 1 for Rupal.
Oh, the backline, like you said, it's perfect. Ultraviolet.
Es que trae Ana y está poderosa, pues. Y luego el Zen.
Trying to force out, and as a result, Angel Volado, when he finds that stick onto Rupal or goes for it, Rupal still has the ultimate to be able to keep that Zen alive, and as a result, Discord Orb just tanks Mexico's entire health line with that extra 25% damage that they take. And it's going to be USA looking to pick up those early checkpoints.
Momo is hacked early already, hacked again. Now can drop that Coalescence because of it. Meanwhile, hack on.
Trying to hack, but USA makes the first move. EMP connects onto Castles, but Hydra is the one that follows it up. You don't need no burst damage if your Sombra can just absolutely shred with the nail gun.
Ultraviolet trying to back up into this right side to play around that health pack with Aspire. I mean, it's too hard to deal with that. That is a very crucial health pack to hack, by the way.
Focus on the brig. They're understanding that Aspire and Hydron are just able to just chunk through this backline.
Sí, vamos a ver. Sí, con Brig se hace mejor.
The Choblox is able to actually spot out Hydron, and this is going to have to be Mexico making sure that USA doesn't find that trade back off, giving up a little bit of space, but there it is. Choblox bit off a little bit too much to chew, and Rupal takes him down.
Yeah, this is the problem with New Queen Street, is that some of these really good teams just know how to play it so well. You just back up after losing a member. It doesn't matter how aggressive you go. Robot's still in an unfavorable position for Mexico. Now they have to group around this card again, which has made it all the way to the checkpoint.
Se la va a ensartar a la Brig, güey.
Aspire still waiting at the force bomb. On Help Volado has his own. Looking for Aspire. The double pocket on him with the orb and the anti-healing on Help waiting for that dive with Castle. Castle had to take that space, but he loses his life because of it on the right side. Sticks the pulse bomb though into Rupal. Immediately nanoed.
Le dieron nano, güey.
Removed, and the rest of Mexico will collapse to USA on the front line with 4 minutes and 22 seconds left.
Que están haciendo bien las cosas, güey.
They've got Transcendence as well to be able to deal with follow-up from this EMP, but I mean, Mexico don't really have the damage burst to be able to play.
Y van a tener trascendencia, güey, para la siguiente pelea.
And you don't have something that can just chunk these players down like a Cassidy or Hanzo. As the EMP comes through, but where's the follow-up? They don't even need to use Transcendence. This is the second time USA have been EMP'd and sat on a Zenol.
No hubo seguimiento, güey. Hackearon a los dos soportes de Estados Unidos. Bueno, ya les bajaron al... Bien. Pero se me hace que se lo van a chingar. Ah, no, ya está ahí. Está bien. Bien.
So we'll have to wait for him to get back on the spawn, but Mexico's have to control the robot again.
Primal and Rally available for Mexico, so sustainability, but unfortunately not a lot of kill potential to come through, especially because USA is still just sitting on so much zoning. Both that EMP, the Pulse Bomb, and the Hammer Mines. In Mexico, they take too long. USA get to make the first move.
But a sleep dart came through, looked like it, onto Aspire. Fantastic. Momo's been so good. Unfortunately, did die. So did Sopa to Super. Backline gone from Mexico. Don't have any healing. And again, now Mexico's starting to look shell-shocked. Canceled. Desperately tries to get back to his team. USA have control of the robot again. They have 3 ultimates, by the way. USA building up to the nano as well. EMP desperately should be built for Chobolox, who is hacked Super, forcing him off that robot for now. Meanwhile, Chobolox is hacked on the left side by Hydra, and the dive comes through, so he has to translocate back. Hydra goes low, though. Down to pretty much 10 HP. Has to back up to his team, but it's
bien. Sacó esa madre.
Immediately afterwards. Fantastic work from him. One of the best flex supports in the world. He killed Chobolox there on that backside. Castle now tries to regroup.
¿Qué onda con el healing, güey?
For dominant fashion, and what a sticky from Aspire! Oh my God, 2K and USA continue to push this robot forward.
Mexico going to have to wait for the full regroup. As we can see, Aspire is going for that spy check, trying to figure out where the Sombra's EMP is going to come through. Most likely, however, it's going to be held in the pocket until we see Super invest these hammer mines, but no! Mexico get aggressive, and again, there's just no problem!
They're setting it Rupal like he's Jonah! Nano boost him, takes that EMP, and slams down...
Güey, el Zen anda con todo, güey.
The 5K, give him a 4, he's popping the heck off, and we still have Aspire POV, but it doesn't didn't matter because they're about to close out on Mexico. And Volato did get the pulse bomb onto Ultra. The Spire's gone. Now's your chance, buddy. Rupal, let's see if you can close it out. It's incredibly hard, the situation they're in, but he's doing it. He's got 5 at the moment with the healing orb onto his Sombra. Super is anti-graded, and they slowly have to back up because
Lo alcanzaron a salvar, güey.
far too close.
But Mexico have such a mountain to climb, Dustin. USA nearly full push. They essentially touched Mexico's spawn doors, and Mexico are going to have to actually equalize their distance, and it's going to be soon into overtime. USA with this EMP can literally just wait for Mexico to invest these ultimates to win the next fight and just steamroll through them with attrition.
The Nano though, EMP built up soon. No, Chobos has to translocate back. Meanwhile, Nano committed from Momo onto Castle. The dive has been incredibly telegraphed, so USA at this point really know what Castle is trying to do. Meanwhile, throwing EMP on the Momo, who was committed. That Nano boost had to set up an aggressive position to make sure he's close enough to dive on the backline, but that resulted in him losing his life. And now USA try to regroup, get some healing.
Debería hacerle el paro.
Who has been playing ultra greedy, but it works out
Esa.
because they're looking for that backline. Super is hacked though, and Angel Volato came back for the peel. 30 seconds left now, and a lot of distance to go. Over 100 meters. And USA is in a very defensible position. EMP. From... Yeah, EMP from Chobos forces that transcendence.
Para afuera del mapa, buena.
Trying to save his team, and that's Primal from Castle. The Boop ultra off the map, but Aspire came back to get that kill onto Castle. Meanwhile, Aspire has to play around that statue, avoid the pulse bomb from Angel, who now has the Discord orb on him and gets ran over by both Hydron and that Zenyatta of Rupal. 22 seconds left. Pulse bomb here as well onto the bus station, and they touch the cart. Mexico touches the cart to bring us into overtime. Castle will eventually make it back, but USA at the end of the day win the series versus Mexico in the group stages 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, look at why USA take that final fight as well. They make sure that as little players from Mexico can try and tap that objective as possible.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have.
Called it too early. Sorry, my bad, guys. My bad. Called it a little too early.
You got a little bit excited, but I mean, USA. What then? And making sure that Rupal and the Discord.
El Ángel Volado, güey. Y el Castle de México, güey. Estuvieron haciendo buen trabajo, güey, El Chubilux en el segundo mapa con Echo, güey, hizo una limpia muy buena. A pesar de que estaba troleando Estados Unidos, pero fue una captura rápida, güey. Entonces vemos ahí pequeños acentos de buen trabajo, buena coordinación. Dales más tiempo a todos los equipos latinoamericanos para que jueguen al nivel y se coordinen bien, y vas a tener buena competencia de este lado. Desafortunadamente está muy enfocado a europeos, asiáticos y norteamericanos. La escena profesional, ¿no? Igual pues es donde hay más gente, pero sí estuvo bien.